Did you know that medieval women risked their lives just to look beautiful? Imagine using lead to whiten your face or belladonna to make your eyes sparkle, only to end up poisoned or blind. Beauty in the Middle Ages wasn't just about vanity. It was a dangerous game of survival, status, and sacrifice. From toxic potions to bizarre rituals, medieval women's beauty hacks were as shocking as they were deadly. Stick with me as we uncover the wild, weird, and downright terrifying secrets of how women in medieval Europe chased perfection, and why it often cost them everything. Let's dive into a world where beauty wasn't just skin deep. It was a battlefield. Picture a noble woman in a drafty castle, her maids bustling around with pots of mysterious creams and powders. She's not just preparing for a feast. She's arming herself for a social war where her appearance could make or break her family's reputation. Beauty was power, and power came at a price. But before we get to the gruesome details, let's set the stage. Why did medieval women go to such extremes? In a time when mirrors were rare and sanitation was a luxury, looking good was about more than aesthetics. It was a statement of wealth, piety, and influence. Even peasants, scraping by in muddy villages, had their own tricks to mimic the glow of the elite. What's one beauty trick you've tried that felt a bit risky? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious. Now, let's talk about the obsession with pale skin, the ultimate medieval beauty standard. A ghostly complexion screamed wealth because it meant you didn't toil in the sun like a peasant. But here's the kicker. To achieve that porcelain look, women slathered their faces with ceruse, a paste made from white lead. Yes, lead, the same toxic metal we avoid today. They'd mix it with vinegar and smear it on, creating a smooth, ethereal glow that made them look like Renaissance paintings. Sounds glamorous, right? Not so fast. Over time, this lead seeped into their skin, causing hair loss, blackened teeth, and even organ failure. Some women died slowly, their beauty literally poisoning them. Yet, they kept using it because society demanded that flawless, pale look. Imagine choosing between your health and your status. Tough call, right? If you had to pick one modern beauty product to give up forever, what would it be? Share below. But pale skin was just the start. Let's move to the eyes, where things get even wilder. Medieval women wanted big, sparkling eyes to look alluring and innocent, and they turned to a plant called belladonna or deadly nightshade. They'd squeeze a few drops into their eyes to dilate their pupils, giving them a dreamy, doe-eyed stare. It was like the medieval version of false lashes or eyeliner, but with a deadly twist. Belladonna could cause blurred vision, headaches, and in high doses, blindness or death. Imagine dropping poison into your eyes just to catch a knight's attention at a banquet. Yet women did it, knowing the risks, because those wide, glossy eyes were irresistible in a candlelit hall. It makes you wonder, how far would you go for a perfect selfie today? Tell me in the comments what beauty trend you think is worth the hype. Hair was another obsession, and medieval women went to extreme lengths for long, lustrous locks. Hair wasn't just a crown. It was a symbol of femininity and virtue. Noble women spent hours having their hair braided with ribbons or adorned with jewels. But keeping it clean was a nightmare. Without modern shampoos, they relied on herbal rinses made from rosemary or chamomile, which weren't too bad. But here's where it gets dicey. To make their hair shine, some women use concoctions with arsenic or mercury. These toxic metals promise glossy, healthy hair, but could burn the scalp, cause hair loss, or worse, seep into the bloodstream. Peasants, who couldn't afford such potions, often resorted to brushing their hair with ash or stale urine to degrease it. Yes, you heard that right. It's hard to imagine rinsing your hair with something so gross, but for them, it was just another day. What's the weirdest hair hack you've ever heard of? Drop it below. I bet it can't top medieval urine. Speaking of gross, let's talk about teeth. A bright smile wasn't the goal in the Middle Ages. Straight, white teeth weren't the standard like they are today. But women still care about their mouths, especially to avoid the stench of decay in a time when dental care was rudimentary. To freshen their breath, they chewed on herbs like mint or cloves, which sounds harmless enough. But for whitening, some turned to abrasive paste made from ground pumice or even coral, which could strip enamel and damage gums. Wealthier women might use a risky concoction of vinegar and honey, which, while less abrasive, could erode teeth over time. The worst part? If a tooth went bad, the only fix was a barber surgeon yanking it out with pliers. No anesthesia, just a shot of courage. Makes your last dental visit sound like a spa day, doesn't it? What's one dental habit you swear by? Share it in the comments. Now, let's get to the body, because medieval women didn't stop at their faces. A slim waist and graceful posture were must-haves, especially for noble women who needed to glide through courtly dances. Enter the corset's ancestor, tight lace bodices and kirtles. These garments cinched the waist to create an hourglass figure, but they were brutal. Made of stiff fabrics like wool or linen, reinforced with whalebone or wood, they restricted breathing and could bruise ribs. Some women fainted from the pressure, and long-term use could deform the spine or organs. Yet, they endured it because a tiny waist signaled youth and fertility, key to securing a good marriage. Peasants, meanwhile, mimicked the look with simpler belts, but even they felt the pressure to conform. It's wild to think about squeezing yourself into a torture device just to look perfect. What fashion trend today feels like a medieval torture device to you? Let me know below. Skincare was another minefield. Medieval women craved smooth, blemish-free skin, but their solutions were often more harmful than helpful. They whip up masks from ingredients like raw egg whites, rose water, or ground almonds, which could be soothing. But for serious issues like acne or scars, they turned to mercury-based ointments. Mercury promised to burn away imperfections, but also burned the skin, caused tremors, and sometimes led to neurological damage. Wealthy women might also use distilled urine. Yes, again as a toner, believing it purified the skin. The irony? These treatments often left them with worse scars or infections, yet they persisted because clear skin was a status symbol. It's a stark reminder of how far we've come with modern skincare. What's your go-to skincare product, and would you trade it for a medieval potion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Perfume was a big deal too, especially in a world where baths were rare and castles reeked of smoke and sweat. Medieval women used perfumes to mask odors and signal wealth. As fragrances were insanely expensive, they dab on oils infused with rose, lavender, or exotic spices like saffron, imported at great cost. But some perfumes contained toxic ingredients like lead or arsenic to enhance their scent or staying power. These could irritate the skin, or worse, be absorbed into the body. Peasants, unable to afford such luxuries, might rub herbs like thyme into their clothes for a faint scent. Smelling good was a flex, but it came with risks. Imagine spending a fortune on a perfume that might kill you. What's a scent you love that's worth splurging on? Share it below. Let's not forget makeup, which was both art and danger. Beyond lead-based rouge, women use rouge made from crushed berries or cochineal insects to add a rosy flush to their cheeks. Sounds natural, right? But some rouges were mixed with toxic vermilion, a mercury-based pigment that could cause skin damage or poisoning. For lips, they might use beeswax tinted with plant dyes, which was safer, but the wealthy often opted for lip salves with lead to achieve a bold red. Eyebrows were another focus. Women plucked them thin or shaved them entirely, then drew them back on with charcoal or soot. The goal was a high, arched brow to look youthful and refined, but overplucking could lead to infections. Makeup was a tightrope walk between beauty and disaster. What's one makeup product you can't live without? Tell me in the comments. So, why did medieval women take these risks? It wasn't just vanity. Beauty was a currency. For noble women, a flawless appearance could secure a powerful husband or favor at court. For peasants, looking noble might earn respect or better treatment. The church also played a role, preaching that beauty reflected inner virtue, yet condemning vanity as a sin. Women were caught in a double bind. They had to look perfect, but not seem like they tried too hard. This pressure drove them to extreme measures, from poisoning their skin to crushing their ribs. It's a haunting parallel to today's beauty standards, where we're bombarded with filters and trends. What's one beauty standard you think is overrated today? Drop it below. I want to hear your take. But here's the craziest part. Some of these hacks worked, at least for a while. Lead ceruse gave that coveted pale glow. Belladonna made eyes pop, and mercury cleared blemishes before it destroyed the skin. These women weren't clueless. They were experimenting with the limited knowledge and resources of their time. Apothecaries and wise women passed down recipes, blending folklore with trial and error. Some ingredients, like rosewater or chamomile, are still used in modern cosmetics, proving they were onto something. But the lack of scientific understanding meant they couldn't foresee the long-term dangers. It's a testament to their ingenuity and desperation, navigating a world where beauty could open doors or close them forever. If you could time travel to the Middle Ages, what beauty tip would you share with these women? Share your idea in the comments. Let's zoom out and reflect. Medieval beauty hacks weren't just about looking good. They were about survival in a ruthless society. A noble woman's pale skin or tiny waist could secure her family's future. A peasant's attempt at elegance might earn her a scrap of dignity. These women face impossible standards with courage, creativity, and sacrifice, even if it meant gambling with their lives. It's easy to judge their choices, but put yourself in their shoes. No running water, no dermatologist, just a burning need to be seen as worthy. Their story reminds us that beauty has always been a double-edged sword, promising power but demanding a price. What's one lesson from medieval beauty you think we can apply today? Drop it below. Before we wrap up, let's talk about how this connects to us. Today, we're not smearing lead on our faces, thank goodness, but we're still chasing ideals, whether it's a perfect Instagram glow or the latest TikTok trend. The tools have changed, but the pressure hasn't. Medieval women remind us to question what we're willing to risk for beauty. Maybe it's time to embrace what makes us unique instead of chasing someone else's standard. Next time you're scrolling through filters or eyeing new product, think about those medieval women and their deadly potions. What's one thing you love about your natural look? Share in the comments. I'm all ears. All right, that's the wild world of medieval beauty hacks. If you were shocked by these dangerous tricks, hit that like button and share this video with a friend who loves history or beauty, or both. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next dive into the Middle Ages. Want more crazy historical secrets? Check out our video on medieval hygiene myths. It's just as wild. And one last question. If you could ban one modern beauty trend forever, what would it be? Drop in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.